So it needs absolute precision and lots of bravery. And on this straight, you can see some of the guys running. This is a really long hill. I think lots of people underestimate how long this hill is on the Camel Straight.
Yeah, the Camel Straight is anything, first of all, anything but straight, but also not flat. You see it on the telly and you think it's flat because they've just come over Eau Rouge, one of the steepest parts of any F1 track, and they're still coming up here, as you can see. Now, around this corner, through Mortal Words, here comes Sebastian Vettel after what an amazing race that was, all the way back in 2017, or whatever, I can't quite remember. That's first the PGA reference, coming down the Camel Straight. Good chance to overtake down here. Some of the stragglers, a good road, a good path as well, hopefully see some racing this week.
They'll come up here, take a photo, take a photo.
And also another famous overtake, Andre, between a certain Hakkinen and a certain Schumacher. Just walk us through it.
So if anyone remembers Ricardo Zonta, he was kind of caught in the middle of the track, like a deer in the headlights. And Schumacher went one side, Hakkinen went the other. The Hakkinen did not flinch, he didn't lift. It was probably the bravest overtaking manoeuvre I've ever seen. If they still replay it now every year when it comes to Spa.
It's one of my favourite things to watch ever. If I'm a feeling fan, I just watch Hakkinen overtaking Schumacher. It's an amazing overtake, and the bravery you've got to have. I was actually interviewing him earlier, and he talked about P2, which is a Finnish kind of bravery. Brilliant. So we come all the way down the Camel Straight, 200 miles an hour, 300 kilometres an hour, into the Lacombe chicane, your first real overtaking opportunity on the track after the first lap. We've seen a number of incidents down here. Just walk us through this series of corners through here, Andre.
So here for Lacombe, you have the right-left sequence. It's really important that drivers get onto the inside curve here. I think we've missed the apex just so we don't hit the runner. But it's key, it's quite messy. If you try and overtake on the outside, it's quite easy for the driver ahead to squeeze them across. If you run wide here, you get penalised. You see lots of drivers on the first lap will take a shortcut. Also, you can damage the car on the curves. You're now starting to head down to Rivage, which is a really technical corner. They'll be braking downhill, so even more pressure on the front tyres. Quite easy to lock a wheel. Would you say, Josh, that it's an overtaking point into Rivage?
I mean, if you can get a run down into Lacombe and you can sort of battle it out, sometimes you get moved on, but sometimes you still come out of Lacombe and you've still got to do some overtaking left, and you come down into Rivage here, and you've got to decide if you're going to try and stay on the inside, and it is difficult down to this corner because it's very, very downhill, and it also drops away from you on the apex, so not only are you dropping downhill, but as you turn into the corner, you actually start to get dragged away from the inside of the corner as you turn across the face of it. So a very,
Run,
very
Forrest,
corner.
run!
Very most tricky one. Big roll! That's one for the burger guy. Okay. So we're coming around Rivage here into the first part of the sort of uniform part of the circuit. The biggest major difference to this track here is the no-name corner with left-hander. It used to be a fast, tight left-hander, and now it's opened up a little bit, Andre.
Yeah, they've made two different profiles. I think this was to make it safer for the bike racers. But there's still some runoff now. I don't think the drivers have taken too long to adapt to this new corner. They're the best drivers in the world. I don't think it's been that challenging for them. But after this left-hander here, we're going down to Thorn, which is a super fast double left-hander. They're pulling 5 feet, which is probably the most deepest on this circuit. It's a much harder corner than Eau Rouge. Josh, do you want to talk about what the drivers do for Thorn?
Yes, so as much as Eau Rouge and Red Inn gets talked about, this is my favourite part of the track. The double left-hand downhill of Thorn. It's the main grass of the state of the driver's underpass after we come out of the exit. Really hard blind left hands to start. You then run out on the exit in the middle of the corner, and you have to drag the car all the way back in to get the second apex. And the second part of the corner is not too difficult, but we did see in the F2 certain road started getting a little bit long and losing the back end. And that's the thing out here, because you go into this middle ground between a low downforce setup for the high speeds, but also you want that downforce near the corners. Sometimes you get a little bit wrong and a gust of wind can catch that after. So, it's through here, this used to be the old tarmac road up there, but now we've got this gravel track just before the barriers. For the mentality of the drivers, what's going to change about how they approach Thorn?
So for the drivers, gravel is like you want to avoid it at all costs. And I think they're trying to stop drivers taking liberties where before they could push hard. If they pushed too hard, they could have bought the corner, exit and come back on. Whereas now they haven't got the luxury of that. So I think it makes much more jeopardy. If a driver goes into the gravel in the race, that's going to be pretty terminal. It gets into the radiators, can damage the wing, things like that. So I think it's a good way to keep the drivers honest.
Absolutely, they think twice about before turning into that corner, don't they, when they know there's a bit of gravel on the outside to receive them before the barrier. It's not just a case of running wide and getting away with it. So we're coming to a Fanion chicane, lovely part of the circuit, lovely flowing. We're actually putting about 4G over this left-hander. It doesn't look like much of a corner, but a 4G on the apex of Lefania, of the left-hander of Lefania. Think about that, that's about 30 kilograms on the side of your head. Your head and helmet together weigh about 10 kilograms. So we're going to do that 44 times a race. That's 44 reps of 40 kilograms on your neck. So that's what they got. Quite square heads, isn't it, aren't they? So coming down to this little right-hander, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of it, unfortunately. And then ends the Stabilo. This is the lowest part of the track right now, and we start to climb all the way back after that. This is the thing about Spa I love, and this is why I'm so upset about the talk about it being removed from the calendar. It's just so upsetting to me because it's part of F1 history, it's part of the identity of F1. It's been on the calendar on the inaugural season, and now the first ever calendar, all the way back in 1950, was Silverstone, Monza, Monaco, and Spa. And it's one of the greatest racetracks in the world. Back in the 50s, it was obviously much longer, travelling much further out before coming back up, and this is where the original track comes to meet the new track here as we leave Scarborough Corner and head out to the left. You can see this road on the left-hand side, here, I think it's the part of the old racetrack, and this is where it joins back up again. Anyone been go-karting this weekend? Anyone been go-karting? Is that go-karting? Great go-kart track on the right-hand side. 1 second, nothing track. Good go-kart track, good go-kart track. 24 hours for Spa Hybrid as well. Yeah, they're working on the F1 bombs around here, that's the thing. It's getting really sharp before they go down. So, at this point, Andre, I'm really talking about how the tyres are used to a lot, for a whole lot. They're red hot, they're screaming out for help. Around here we've got a very long straight to very high speeds. How does that change the temperature and the conditions of the tyre?
Yes, so unlike the track, say in Austria, the long straights give the tyres a chance to cool. And you saw say even in qualifying, Mercedes were doing 2 laps on their soft tyres. They're struggling to get heat into their tyres. Even when they're travelling at 300 kilometers per hour, braking really hard, they're struggling for temperature. The other thing some of the teams do is to come up some of the brake ducts to get some temperature into the brakes that builds heat into the tyres as well. When they come into the pit to then take that tape off. But I don't know why Mercedes seem to struggle more than the other teams. So in the race it shouldn't be so bad. Maybe the first lap they're going to struggle. But by the time they get to the chicane, it's very easy for them to lift the front tyre and unload his tyre.
Yeah, you see the Mercedes this weekend have been really struggling to keep temperature and get temperature to the tyres in the first place. That's actually helped them this year because a lot of the weekends have been quite hot, haven't they? They've been quite hard on the tyres, and it's actually played into Mercedes' favour because they can keep those tyres around and much longer during the race. That's why those race stints that the Mercedes have been putting in have been quite impressive actually. They've been reeling their front routines in during the race, but they've actually been struggling this weekend to get heat in the tyre in the first place. It is so much cooler this weekend than it has been before. We're expecting slightly warmer temperatures tomorrow, but not nearly enough to get Mercedes back into it. So as we come into the last chicane here, let's talk about the race very briefly. So we've got some of the big names starting at the back: Leclerc, Verstappen, Schumacher, Bottas, Ocon, and Norris. So obviously some of those aren't going to be racing for the front, but you know 2 of them certainly are going to be trying their best. But what's the mentality for a driver of Verstappen's or Leclerc's calibre coming through the field when they're still trying to race each other for the championship?
So I think for the guys starting at the back, the first thing is they want to get through the first corner. They've got the gravel trap now, so they won't be able to run wide, so there's more jeopardy again. Someone like Verstappen, he's so razor sharp. On the first lap, he's just demons, he's really good. We think the crowd will probably try and follow him through. They definitely won't need to get in trouble on the first lap.
And they were
Listen guys, thank you very much. Can you enjoy your first game for Good stuff, thank you very much.
Hey boys.
Thank you very much, man. Step in the way and enjoy your first game for trophy.
Special.
Enjoy the weekend.
That was fantastic.
Give a high five to Blake. Blake, he's all the way over from Seattle. Would you believe it?
Awesome.
Give him a wave, Blake.